We hear about climate change every day now, and there's no single solution to solve the problem. Successful reduction of greenhouse gases requires lower emissions of CO2 and other gases, and removal of CO2 from the atmosphere, often called carbon sequestration. Nature's solution is plants, and they're key to removal of CO2 through the actions of photosynthesis. This converts carbon from carbon dioxide in the air into plant parts and adds carbon into the ground. Photosynthesis impacts the whole planet in a positive way, and we can take advantage of this natural process. NASA has been tracking CO2 trends for the planet using the Orbiting CO2 Observatory satellite, which has been operational since late 2014. To visualize the data, CO2 concentrations are shown in color. Blue is less CO2, yellow is more than blue, and reds show even more CO2. This time-lapse shows CO2 levels in the United States from mid-2015 through mid-2021. The trend shows an ongoing and significant CO2 increase will continue without action to slow the increase and remove carbon from the atmosphere. There is some good news. Nature can help remove CO2, and we can work together to help make it go faster. How? Soil and plant carbon capture are vital tools in slowing climate change. You've likely heard that planting trees and various crops can and do help remove carbon, but even the average homeowner, towns and farms can do more with other types of plants too. Lawns, open areas, and meadows can be very efficient carbon collectors. In this animation, NASA shows how photosynthesis works over a summer to reduce the carbon content in the atmosphere during the summer of 2015. Early June CO2 levels measured at 401.7 parts per million. While photosynthesis is at its best, it pulls the CO2 out of the air. As summer progresses, CO2 levels drop, shown in dark blue, to around 395 parts per million by end of the summer. When photosynthesis is at work, plants are naturally converting carbon from CO2 as food and building roots, stems, and leaves, and plants also add carbon back into the soil. Plants capture and remove carbon dioxide, or CO2, from the air and convert it and store it. Photosynthesis maximizes carbon capture. How can we make this work faster and better? Soil health matters for plants, and the type of plant matters too. We have an opportunity. Let our lawns, meadows, and open areas do more work, removing carbon from the atmosphere. Clover is highly efficient at capturing CO2 and converting the carbon into plant parts and adding the carbon to the soil. Adding clover to a lawn can help you in other ways too. Clover can help improve your soil nitrogen and naturally fertilize the lawn, eliminating the need for chemicals. And clover's deep roots need less watering and are more drought resistant. And clover is soft and nice to walk on and makes your lawn beautiful, adding flowers that are used and enjoyed by pollinators. If you think about it, 40 million acres of lawn in the U.S. could become vital carbon sinks to help meet the carbon reduction goals of the U.S. and North America. Adding clover to your lawn can be a simple and helpful part of the solution to climate change. We hear about climate change every day now, and there's no single solution to solve the problem. Successful reduction of greenhouse gases requires lower emissions of CO2 and other gases, and removal of CO2 from the atmosphere, often called carbon sequestration. Nature's solution is plants, and they're key to removal of CO2 through the actions of photosynthesis. This converts carbon from carbon dioxide in the air into plant parts and adds carbon into the ground. Photosynthesis impacts the whole planet in a positive way, and we can take advantage of this natural process. Add clover to your lawn and pass it on.